Welcome, everyone. I'm Joe, otherwise known as Gamer Dad, and you're listening to the first ever long awaited episode of Looking Beyond the Stream. I want to introduce my co host and partner in, I guess we should say, crime at this point, Old Man Geras. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
I am good.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, yes. One more Monday until my birthday is what it is, actually.
Is it really?
Yeah. 9 days left. Almost there.
Any good plans for your birthday?
No.
Not that you know of.
My wife's not really that kind of person to do that sort of thing. Plus, with the current state of health in the world, we're not really going to be doing much.
Well, I hear there's a good Italian restaurant that does a lot with garlic that you should look into in your area.
I want a nice Texas steakhouse. Is what I want for my birthday dinner.
Ooh,
That's what I want to do.
that sounds really, really good.
Yeah, I think that might have to be the hint that the little one shares. I'm gonna have. I'll figure out how to get her to drop that information. She'll say, I think I want Daddy to have a steakhouse dinner.
Wait. Using the children to drop the hint?
Never.
Never.
You've never done that.
Who would ever use children for that?
Says every parent ever who actually doesn't do that.
We all deny it, but yet we do it, right?
No, we wear that you know what with a badge of honor. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
The only thing I don't do with the kids is I don't ever turn them against my wife negatively. We do certain things out of playfulness, but never weaponize your kids against your partner, for sure.
Excellent. Good choice. You should never do that.
But that's a topic for another day for somebody else's podcast. I'm pretty sure people are wondering what we're going to be talking about.
That's a good question. What are we going to be talking about?
Well, in the months and months and months that it took us to get to episode 0, which we're probably going to talk about that. I think that is our episode 0 topic, is the January podcast that never happened, being that we're recording this in the middle of May. There's a lot of podcasts that really tell people how to go live, how to set up your stream, how to build your OBS scenes. We're going to probably talk about some of that, but what you don't hear a lot about is the other stuff that goes into being a streamer. The hours you put into getting your stream working behind the scenes. Or, we were talking about kids and our partners and stuff like that. How do you balance that life? Because we don't just sit here at this computer all day, every day. It's not healthy. So we want to talk about kind of opening up that curtain a little bit, looking behind the scenes a little bit at your engagement, balancing your life. I mean, some people have even mentioned things like dealing with the anxiety of streaming, because this is not always fun to put your face out in front of the world, everybody. How to get started. And it is more than just the hardware and the software and the button to go live. Garrus, what do you think? What else do you have to add to that?
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people, especially when they start thinking of a Twitch or Facebook streamer or YouTube, their thoughts are, oh, you turn on a camera, you play a game, and people throw money at you, and you do it for a few hours, and you're rich, right? We hear all of the big names, but there's a lot that happens behind the scenes. The prep, the the study, really, that we need to do, the research that you have to do, and then balancing that with real life, family relationships, very, very critical work. We have to pay bills, right? And streaming online is not that winning lottery ticket, if you want to look at it that way, where, hey, I can get this and spend 10 minutes scratching off some numbers and I just won $1 million. There is so much more involved to it. And that is really what, Gamer Dad and I wanted to talk about. And let's look beyond the stream. Streaming is easy, quote unquote, easy. Let's go behind the scenes beyond that and look at everything else that has to go in and how we try to balance that between every facet of our lives that we have.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, you are right, though. Streaming is easy from the aspect of if you have a computer that goes on the internet, you can install a piece of software and hit go live. So we are going to talk about how to get to that point, and how to build upon that. So hopefully everybody gets a lot out of this, and finds out a lot more than I need a camera, I need a microphone, I need lights. We could go on in episodes about that, and I'm sure we will. So Garrus, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are? Tell us about your history.
I go by Old Man Geras on um, Twitch. I primarily do Twitch. I do not really do much on YouTube. And by not really do much, I mean I really don't do anything on YouTube. It is strictly on Twitch. A family, working, all of that good stuff that is part of our day-to-day lives that we have out there. I'm fairly new. I say I'm fairly new to streaming. I've been doing this for just over 1 year. It's actually been 1 year, like a month and a half. So something around that. That's it. So very new to the scene, very new on how it works, and building up and balancing the, I hate to say, work life stream, um, balance in our lives. And that's me really in a nutshell. Gamer Dad, who are you?
I think the name is the obvious moniker. I'm a dad who plays games. My games are a little bit different. I do a lot more tabletop miniature based games. Although with two kids now, I don't find a lot of time to play. And I'm sure we'll get into it with plenty of the podcast with real life impact and everything. The current state of affairs of the pandemic that we are hopefully exiting. There's a lot of that has impacted my kinds of activities. So a lot of my stuff has been located more towards finding ways to play it online. But I'm a full time IT professional, and balancing that and two kids and trying to find time to have fun with my partner, spending time with Hypermom, my wife. It's definitely a juggling act, but I found ways to make it work, and I found ways to make it work to stream for the last nearly 5 years. So we've got the old man as the newbie streamer, and we got I guess I wouldn't say the young kid anymore because getting close to 40. But
You're still young compared to me. I mean, I've got, well, I guess almost 2 decades on you.
yeah, so it's kind of it's kind of the reverse roles.
Yeah.
I'm more the veteran streamer. I focus on a lot of my mini painting and hobby content. I've taught painting lessons and streaming content at multiple Gen Cons. So I've been around the block for teaching and painting, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun to try and put that knowledge into a podcast.
Yeah. And Gamer Dad, we should probably talk about how the podcast or the idea of it and the name, how this all came about. And I think you just started talking about that as you and I just talking and bouncing ideas off each other. You're the one who, I'm going to let you say your statement that you always talk about, regarding painting and streaming, because I think it holds true. But because of that, that kind of led to us where we are today.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
and what is it that you say that you've
Oh,
said for years now?
you mean my little moniker that people have blamed for the reason they started streaming? I commonly just say, shut up and stream. I think it's the very blunt way of putting it. It's kind of a spin on the Nike concept of just do it, or for those of you who've seen the Shia LaBeouf meme of, just do it. That's really where it comes from, is you hear a lot of people like, I wish I could stream. I want to stream. I want to just play these games with people online. Just do it. Just that's the whole concept. Anybody with a working computer can hit the streaming button and do it. Where you go with it is up to you, whether you keep doing it. And that a lot of that is what you and I have talked about. I know you, before you started streaming, mentioned it, and I said just give it a try, see what happens. I certainly don't attribute myself to the reason you got streaming. I know that I've been a factor that's helped you get into it and somebody that helped encourage you. But it's ultimately the person, the content creator that does it. And we talked a lot about what you went through when you started, some of your pitfalls and mistakes, some of the things you learned from other veteran streamers, some of the things those veteran streamers like myself learned from a new streamer like you, things that were available to you that we may not have had available to us at that time. But that's what I wanted to do, was get fellow streamers together to talk about it and to talk about their streaming content. And we'll probably interview people on here. I think we'll try. But that was really where it came from. Is you and I just constantly comparing notes. You teaching me things you've learned, me teaching you things that got you into it, stuff like that. And I think I'm going to pick on you a little bit. I
Yeah.
think this really started to take shape when you were streaming until 3 or 4 in the morning, multiple nights a week. And I would get online. I would wake up on the couch because I have a, I had a newborn at the time. I would fall asleep. I'd get up and go shut down the computer, and I'd see Geras still live. And I know Geras works the same hours I work. So we started just talking about learning from things. We're like, we need to tell people how to balance this. I, I really think that's what led us in that direction.
It did, but wait a minute. Do you mean that streaming 14 hours a day is not the right thing to do?
I
Isn't it all about living your whole life online? Because that's what that will bring the people in.
Oh,
Yeah.
I am sure. It
But
will.
everybody says that. No, absolutely not. And we will talk about that as we go on through the different episodes. It was a lesson learned.
It was.
Gamer Dad, I think you called me out on that. It was after one of the 13-hour episodes.
Yeah,
It really was eye-opening, but that's for another day. We'll have that discussion then. Just don't do it. Trust me.
that's right. I know that part of the reason you got into streaming was some influence from some streamers, myself included. But why do you stream? What really got you going? Let's pull back those covers a little bit on why we're both in this into streaming content.
Absolutely. So mine's an interesting story. Gamer Dad has for years been saying, just turn on the camera, get in front of it, right? Same thing with painting miniatures. Put paint on the brush. Just do it. Is what he has been saying for the years that I've known him. And I was never really going to do streaming. I was like, I'm going to paint minis. And then I started I could paint minis on camera if I'm going to do it anyways. And Gamer Dad will tell you I've done that one time in the last 1 year plus,
With
a
me,
single
you
time.
did it with
With
me.
you, that is
I
correct.
think you used your
It
cell
was
phone as one of your cameras too.
I did. I did. And, the real reason that I started streaming was I had built a computer, pretty straightforward. COVID was raging on across the world, and I was building a computer so I can play video games. And my daughters, who called me old man in a loving way, I like to say, told me, "Hey, you should just stream it. People will watch." Kind of that, if you build it, people will come. That whole philosophy, but not really. And I was like, sure, why not? Between them and Gamer Dad saying to get in front of the camera, I did that. Did it again just over a year ago. Started with my first camera was an old iPhone and we'll talk about this. Don't spend lots of money, but use what you have as long as it gets the job done to stream. There was a video I watched online. It was talking about, don't spend $200 on a webcam or $100. You have a cell phone that'll do probably a better job than the majority of the cameras out there that you can use. And I
Yep.
started with that. I bought a microphone for under $50 that I used almost a full year. I just bought this microphone about a month ago.
And it sounds amazing.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm really happy with this. And it was just taking your time and growing personally. And by growing myself, it's also growing the stream because you're going with the people. And I still have people who started here week one with me, one person, day one, and they still come on and talk and chat. And it's
Mhm.
building that community and friendship. So that's what has brought me here. And here I still am. Gamer dad, how about you?
It started because I had a daughter. If anybody has ever seen a picture of my desk, there's minis everywhere. I play lots of tabletop games, and I used to, before I became a dad, go to the game store 2 or 3 nights a week. I would go out to dinner with friends after. On the weekends, once a month, they would have a hobby day on a Sunday. We'd go over there. We'd all get together at one friend's house at noon. We would pack up all of our hobby stuff, go over there with our minis. We would spend hours and hours and hours. And then my wife had our daughter, and I got to thinking, I don't have a lot of time to do that. Packing up, going up to the game store, coming home late, sneaking in so the dog doesn't bark and wake up. There was a lot. My life totally changed, and I found myself playing games online. So one of the guys I wound up just meeting in a game was streaming. So I asked about it, and then I gave it a try, and I started using my old Steam name until I changed it to this account name. I would go into League of Legends game lobbies before a game starts, and I would say, "You guys ever wonder what your dad looks like playing games? Check this out." And I would give them my Twitch link because I would just play online games at night because I wasn't really going out much. I would put my daughter to bed and relax. That's kind of where it went. And then I started painting and did that so my friends can come hang out with me for hobby day online. Because when you can do it in front of a camera, it's so much easier than packing up all the. I mean, if anybody ever does mini painting, it's not just one little bag. I mean, there's tons of stuff. So that's kind of what got me into it. And I started to notice like this whole community coming together. I got to talk to people while, I mean, the challenge to a creative streamer doing painting stuff is you're literally letting paint dry, and you have to figure out what to do to fill the air while you're watching paint dry. So I enjoyed just chatting with people, being social about it, and then I started to see that I picked up some lessons of my own and had a lot of messages to deliver, and people wanted to hear it. So here I am 5 years later, still trying to impress upon people some lessons in streaming.
But you do more than just Twitch, don't you?
Yeah, I've dabbled. I've done lots of like Instagram tutorials where I'll do like picture stories of how to do something. So I've done tutorial based stuff through Instagram, YouTube. I have done other podcasts in the past through sponsors and with other friends. So I've been, I mean, 5 years. You mix it up quite a bit. So I've dabbled all over the place. So yeah, I've just been trying to find any location. I've even made TikToks. I'm too old for TikTok. I feel like I'm way too old for TikTok. I've been everywhere on all of the appropriate sites. There will never be an OnlyFans. There will never be. I tried various other things. Like I tried Patreon. We'll talk about some of the revenue streams and the effort it takes. You'll understand why I am not
and
doing Patreon anymore.
and that goes back to that whole planning and everything that happens before we turn on that camera, which is why we're here and what we're going to be talking about.
Hmm. Why don't you tell us what we can look forward to then? You were kind of leading right into it, so I'll let you finish that segue. This is episode 0. We will probably come up with another name for a pre-episode 1 just to get some more testing and tweaking done. But what kind of content can we look forward into episode 1 and beyond?
Well, I mean, the name really says a lot of what we're doing. We're going to be talking about how do we prep before we turn on the camera and we turn on our software to go live. How do we deal with the family and the work that we have to do and balancing that and keeping a normal schedule where sleep is a good thing. Believe it or not, it helps. Nobody knew that. It's something brand new. Science is still saying you don't really need it if you have caffeine. Who knows? But it's really, it's
Spoken like a
really
true IT professional.
absolutely. You know your IT when you have Mountain Dew or something caffeinated and your food, you can eat the entire meal in 5 minutes using your fingers and breaking it into little pieces because it's faster to chew that way. And right, gamer dad. You know this. I can see it in your
I had
face.
I had bite-sized pizza rolls for lunch today, so I live that life. I totally understand that life.
But it's really about balancing that work life stream balance. But then it's more than that. It's also about, as someone who might want to get into streaming or is streaming, what do I need to do? What do I need? I see all these videos. I see these $500, $800 microphone setups, these $3,000 camera setups. How do I move on? How do I actually get going? Hardware, very important. More important, though, also how to stream and talk to your community and build that community. So we're really running the gamut from your personal life all the way to being online.
And I think, it'll probably be good to kind of get that health awareness out there first and foremost, starting with your real life balance. A lot of we make jokes about living off of caffeine, and I mean we work two very two very busy careers. Yours involves a lot of travel. Mine involves a lot of late nights. Sometimes lately it seems so. It's finding ways to balance our lives. I think is really kind of where we want to lead into. Sure, we'll get into in the first few episodes the hardware, but the most important here we go. Here's your really cheesy analogy. We're gonna have lots of these, Garrus, I'm sure. The most important piece of hardware for your stream is you, and I really think we'll lead into that setup first, and then we'll plug you in with the rest of the hardware to get your stream running. And that was not
Spoken,
scripted. I swear that was not scripted.
spoken like a true Cylon. I like that.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine.
But it is true.
Oh,
It
it is.
it really is. Don't worry about, you know, well, lighting is important, but
Mhm.
it's you. People are not here to see, what your hardware is, what kind of camera, what's your stream deck, what's your computer specs, or what game are you playing. The game is going to have them look at you, but they're here for you. And we
Yeah.
will be growing and expanding on that throughout the different episodes that we'll have.
I'm really looking forward to it. Certainly this has the potential to be something that can be ongoing through multiple episodes. This isn't this isn't designed to necessarily be one of those short series. You hear people have those 6-part episodes or the ESPN 30 for 30s. We're not intending to be that way. We certainly have lots of topics, and the great thing about this, social media the way it is today, we've pre-planned some topics. You can help us plan more. So using all the social media links we have available, reach out to us on our Facebook, uh, reach out to us through the email, check our link tree to get all of the contact information to tell Garrus and I what really means something to you. Sure, we can cover a lot of the same topics that you would see in any podcast or any YouTube video of how to do this. We could talk about some of that, but also think about the other intangibles: your engagement, building your viewership, financially running your stream. That means your money out and your revenue stream in. We cannot give you the special key codes to millions of dollars. We can't unlock that money stream and promise you that you'll have it, because if we knew that, we'd be doing that already. But we can give you the tools and let you figure out the best way to use them.
Absolutely. So we look forward to seeing everybody here. You know what we haven't talked about, Gamer
Yeah,
Dad?
what's that?
How frequently we're going to be doing this. We haven't told them anything.
There's I'm sitting here going, we never mentioned frequency. It's almost like you and I have been in sync on a ton of this. How often should this be going?
I think originally we were talking about doing this every 2 weeks.
We're going to be doing this in multiple formats. So, certainly right now, you're probably listening to us talk through the various ways where podcasts are found. We're going to record this live on the GamerDad Twitch channel. Garrus is going to be streaming it live on the Facebook page. We need to look into a special little tool that lets you stream this on both that page and your Twitch, because I'd love for you and I both to get this message out live on our Twitch. Um, we're going to take the Twitch video off of my channel, and export that to YouTube. So if you want to catch the live feeds, we're going to do Saturday nights after 9 p.m. We're going to set up and do the raw footage will probably be a little bit over an hour, cut down to an under an hour podcast episode every other week.
And
So
that's 9 p.m. Eastern.
correct. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. I think that's 3 in the morning. No, 2 in the morning UK time.
Correct. Well, GMT -5.
That's
How
fair.
about we do that?
Yeah, that's easy. See, I'm in IT and I completely botch up the
I do
GMT thing.
UTC. I mean, we both could have gone UTC, but people would be like, no, what is that?
Nope.
GMT -5.
Nobody uses the universal times.
Every server does, right? They're all perfectly in sync.
To quote Geras from about 10 minutes ago, spoken like a true silo. We'll record on one Saturday. That'll be published to podcast locations the following Saturday. So every week there'll be content, whether you want to watch us live or listen to the pre-recorded.
Absolutely. And at some point, these will also be available via your standard streaming applications, Spotify, Apple, whatever Apple uses, Apple Music, a podcast. I don't know. All of the regular methods, we will be published out there.
The magic of 2022 technology. You set up an account on one location and they take care of it.
What do you mean there's no privacy on the internet?
Privacy on the internet went away when they invented the internet.
Very true.
And don't believe your incognito browsers because everybody knows what you're watching on incognito browsers.
Oh, that's a whole nother topic. And many, many hours into that discussion.
I just don't want people to know what my Netflix browsing list looks like because sometimes you want to watch a sappy romance movie without people knowing you watched a sappy romance movie. Come on.
Well, don't you just make an account with your wife's name and just log in as her?
That's the easier way.
No comment?
No comment.
On the advice of your attorney, you'll plead the fifth on that. I totally get it.
My counsel has informed me to close my mouth.
So I think our next podcast, if we look at the calendar really quick, we'll be recording it on the 28th. Is that correct?
No, I think the 28th will be good. The recording will be Labor Day weekend, so we'll have to talk about travel and one of the topics that'll come in that is your stream schedule being impacted by your family travel. So we'll deal with that with the episode 1 recording as well. So
we will. All right. Well, I think that's it for today.
Yeah, I think that's gonna do it here. These are gonna be a little bit longer going forward. We're gonna try and give you about an hour's worth of topic and conversation. But Geras, I went ahead and brought us in, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you take us out.
Absolutely. All right. I want to thank everyone for coming in as we went through our pilot episode 0 or 00. And especially as we worked through going live on Facebook and the wonders of technology on that. We will be here again, not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday. So the 28th, we will be live around 9 p.m. Eastern, GMT -5 hours. So adjust for your local time zone. We look forward to seeing you all there with episode 1. And have a great week, everyone. Stay safe out there. Thank you for coming by again.
Take care, everybody.
Bye now.